All right, let's dive right into this exclusive ecosystem investment briefing. We're unpacking a fascinating explainer today called Sovereign Dawn, the evolution of Sigma BankAI. What we're going to do is take standard channel analytics and decode them, transforming those numbers into a massive roadmap for sovereign financial growth. So put on your early stage ecosystem investor hats for a minute because we're moving way past passive consumption here. We are looking at the absolute genesis of a decentralized network.
Now look at this number, 218,200 channel views. To a lot of folks, that's just a fun little milestone, right? A vanity metric for a creator. But to an ecosystem investor, this is proven traction. It's the final frame of the status quo. It shows us a really healthy, growing foundation built by entrepreneur Don Lyon. But more importantly, it proves there's an active, highly engaged audience out there waiting for something bigger.
So we have to ask ourselves, are we just looking at a standard YouTube dashboard here? Or is this the raw telemetry of a global signal breaking through all that noise? The source material challenges us to see this not just as content, but as a population actively searching for a completely new kind of finance, and honestly, a new kind of sovereignty.
Here is our due diligence checklist for today. We're going to cover analytics as telemetry, the centralized sandbox trap, sovereign infrastructure, upgraded remittances, the emerging markets engine, and finally, how you can actually step into the network.
Okay, Section 1, Analytics, as network telemetry, decoding the raw data. This right here is your exact metric to capital pipeline. As early-stage investors, we aren't just tracking engagement, we're tracking activated citizens. Think about it. Over 3,000 subscribers, those are actually network nodes. Almost 220,000 views, those convert to meaningful interactions. Nearly 1,000 likes are pure market signals, and those 777 shares represent actual network propagation. Every single view is a handshake, building the runway for a decentralized finance network.
Moving on to Section 2, the centralized sandbox trap, otherwise known as the status quo bottleneck.
You know how traditional social media works, right? It literally harvests your attention just for ad revenue. It optimizes entirely for watch time, basically turning you into a rented audience. But decentralized finance, it flips the script. It transforms that exact same attention into your own personal capital, optimizing for actual outcomes and capital ownership. That old model traps you in a sandbox where, sure, you might own the content, but the platform owns the architecture.
I absolutely love this quote from the source. Centralized finance was built for compliance, not inclusion. Hit the nail on the head, right? Because if you live in an economy where traditional banking completely locks you out, where lines are long and FX fees just drain your savings, you don't just need basic survival tools. You need a system built for generational legacy. You need a real enterprise mission to decentralize wealth.
All right, Section 3, Infrastructure for Sovereign Wealth, activating SigmaBank.ai.
This frames the massive transition from just having a content channel into building a true decentralized treasury. Welcome to DeSoFi, or decentralized social finance. It's a total game changer. It means instead of just leaving viewers with some inspiration and zero tools, the education you're consuming instantly becomes executable infrastructure. Your standard social feeds become actual capital funnels.
Let's break down how the 3 layers of the IMN ecosystem stack up. Layer 1 is content, driving understanding through explainers exactly like the ones we're analyzing. Layer 2 is community, where subscriber nodes in emerging markets actually take action. And Layer 3 is capital, using decentralized finance rails and real-world asset vaults to generate tangible wealth. It's literally AI agents and human founders co-creating solutions right on top of the content you watch.
Which brings us to Section 4, Remittances Upgraded and Simplified, the Mechanics of the Network.
Let's use a real-world comparison to get our heads around tokenized remittance. Traditional remittance is basically like locking dead cash in some distant, dusty vault. It just sits there, losing value to fees and inflation. But tokenized remittance? It's like planting seeds in a programmable, AI-guided local farm. Your money lands in a programmable vault with curated strategies that perfectly align with your own risk profile, and it actually grows over time. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, this step-by-step flow proves the infrastructure is already there. First, you watch an explainer to get equipped. Step 2, you securely connect to SigmaBank.ai. Step 3, your funds route through a tokenized corridor. And Step 4, boom, assets automatically allocate into tailored yield strategies. It perfectly demonstrates how easily a viewer translates a weekly briefing into concrete, automated wealth generation.
Section 5, the Emerging Markets Capital Engine, the why now and where.
As ecosystem investors, we really have to shift our perspective here. High-potential hubs, places like Lagos, Nairobi, Douala, Mumbai, and Sao Paulo, they aren't behind. No way. The ingenuity is already there. They are simply underserved by legacy infrastructure. They are, without a doubt, the actual capital engines of the future.
When you fuse a channel's massive reach with SigmaBank.ai's rails, we are quite literally watching the data points of the global diaspora become sovereign personal capital right before our eyes. Diaspora remittances convert straight into seed capital. Youth attention transforms into real financial literacy. And that raw, undeniable, informal hustle, it solidifies into formal generational wealth.
Finally, Section 6, Step into the Network, our call to action. The June 2026 rollout showed concrete metrics and improved AI accuracy, proving these underlying models are ready to scale safely and globally. The system is live, guys, and this quote captures the ethos so perfectly. Don't just consume the future, help architect it. It's an open invitation to step right out of the audience and become a true co-owner of your financial destiny. Those metrics we looked at on the dashboard earlier, that was just the runway. The flight begins right now. The era of rented audiences and exclusionary centralized banking is officially over. So, the question I want to leave you with is this. Are you going to stay a passive viewer while the data flows by, or are you ready to step into the network, connect to SigmaBank.ai, and secure your generational legacy? The infrastructure is waiting. The choice is yours.